Right, so today's lecture is on word processing applications, and this is lecture 6. The previous lectures, as I said earlier, lectures 1 through 5, all the way up to application software, they have been uploaded onto YouTube. Dhanashree and I are in the process of creating a HUM YouTube channel. I don't know if the channel is ready yet. Dhanashree was working on it. So all these videos, we will move to the channel, and if the link changes, we will repost the link. So this lecture, we've completed, like I said, 5 lectures already. This lecture is on word processing applications. If you do not know what word processing application is, you will know very soon. For those of you that actually have some idea, if you talk of Google Docs, documents, anytime you have a document, it can be a resume, it can be an online textbook, it can be a project report, school report, project proposal, it can be anything. They're all word processing documents, word processed documents. So at the end of this class, you should actually be able to answer the question, what is a word processing application? You should also be able to understand what do we mean by unformatted text and what is formatted text. In the next slide, I show the new words that are there in this particular lecture, and there are Tamil translations in the next slide. So the word format, I've also included in the Tamil vocabulary list. So we will talk about what formatting is, but you have to understand what unformatted means, what formatted means, okay? Then what is it that you can format in a word processing application? That's something you will be able to understand. Then you will be able to understand what are templates, okay? And then you need to know if you can find Word document templates on the web, because if you're creating a new document, it can be a letter, it can be a letter to a company, it can be a resume to a company, or it can be a college project report, or a business document. Almost always you will find templates, something that people have done before. You can just use the template and copy and then include your things in there. So that way you don't have to create a brand new document with brand new structure. So you will also understand what structure means as we go get into the lecture. The other things is, in this document, can I insert an image? Can I insert a table? Not the kind of table we use at home, right? This is I will show you what a table is later. Or a chart. Again, a chart is something I'll show you later. And then we have quiz time. And Vinod, our good friend here, actually has offered to lead quiz time today. Thank you, Vinod. So these are the new words, and the Tamil translations are here. All translations are by Google Translate. Hopefully, Google Translate has done a good job. This model of showing what the new words are, I had not used in previous lectures. So I thought something like literacy. What exactly is literacy? I should actually also kind of state it here. You see the Tamil translation there. Hopefully it's all accurate. The new words in this lecture, I use words like complex. I use words like meaningful, format, template, pamphlet. Okay, pamphlet is something people use in India. It is like a single page thing that you can use for advertisement on streets, or let's say you lost your dog, you can do a lost dog kind of pamphlet. Or if you are a small business, you can use a pamphlet to do some little bit of advertising. I use the word structure. I use the word indent. Okay. Then I use the word insert, save. These are all from inside the word processing application. Export. Then I use the word chart, formula. Then what does numbered mean? Numbered means anything that has the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. in front of them. Lettered means it has the letters A, B, C, D in front of them. Justification. So these are all things that you kind of need to understand what is possible in a word processing application. But in practice, I will show you it is very simple. It does not have to be this complicated. You can forget about most things, keep it very simple. So again, we are back to this familiar diagram of ours. The blue layer is all application software, and the circled application is the word processing application we are going to talk about. Then this is a general guideline for all of you. We've done 5 lectures in computer literacy and applications, and this is the 6th one. The approach I recommend for all of you. It may look complex, okay? It may look hard. It may look difficult. But you should not be afraid that it looks hard or it looks difficult. I would say always start with the simplest application, the simplest kind of use, and the simplest way to move forward, and learn new things. Learn the basics first. Learn new things only little by little. So over time, you will actually know a lot more. Almost always, if you want to do a resume, start with an example document. It is called a template. Somebody would have created a resume template. It will be there on the World Wide Web. You can search using Google. You can use the template, or you can actually in Google Docs, the templates are already there. For many things, templates are easily available. All you do is use the Google Doc template and just modify it to suit you. And then it makes it very, very easy. So I give an example below. If you're writing a school or college report, first time you get into a word processing application like Microsoft Word or Google Docs, just understand the main menu at the top. What is it I can do? This file, save, close, open. There are other menus that we will see. And as I said, always start with a template document and save it, and I tell you how to give files a good name. Okay, so we talked about files and folders 2 lectures ago. We did not talk about what is a nice way to name files and folders, right? But since we are going to start creating documents with word processing and spreadsheet applications, I recommend that you give nice names for your files and folders. People do not pay attention to naming their files properly. They do not pay attention to naming their folders properly. But this is something I always follow, and I followed it for many years in big companies also. So file names almost always have a syntax. Syntax meaning it has a file name in the beginning, there's a dot, and then there are 3 or 4 letters that come after the dot. So many of you are familiar with the PDF files. PDF has a .pdf, right? PDF extension, 3-letter extension. Then some of you may be familiar with the .doc, DOC. The DOC is a document created by a word processing application. You also have a .docx. X means XML, but you don't have to worry about it. So the extension for the file name tells you what kind of type of file it is. You cannot control the PDF or doc or docx extension, but what you can control is the file name. if you're sending a file, your resume, let's say Monica, right? She's sending a resume to a company, an office for a job. And let's say the name of the company is Ambattur Cements, right? That is the office she's applying for a job. So it is always good to name your resume as Monica resume hyphen Ambattur Cements. And if you created your resume in December, put DEC 2020, right? So that way you know the file belongs to Monica, and what was it used for? It was a resume for Ambattur Cements, and it was created in December 2020. 1 year later, if you go back and look at the file, you will know why you created that file. Okay, that's why we need good names. And not a good example is resume.doc or resume.docx. Why? Because let's say Monica sends her resume called resume.doc to Ambattur Cements. Shilpa also sends her document called resume.doc to Ambattur Cements. So does Vinod, and so does Dhanush. What happens in the Ambattur Cements office? All resumes that are received, they're all called resume.doc, resume1.doc, resume2.doc. It is very difficult for them to actually save it, and sometimes when they're saving, Shilpa's resume may overwrite Monica's resume, which means Monica's resume may get forgotten and she may not get an interview. Okay, so it is very, very important to name your file correctly. Name it well. If it is your document and you're sharing your computers with others, put Monica for the file name. If you're sending your file to some other people and you are the one who wrote the document, put your name on the file name. Similarly, project reports, folder names, right? Don't put folder names as folder 1, folder 2, folder 3. Bad idea. Always, if the folder is for a project, or it is for math, for 12th standard and first semester, then put 12th standard hyphen semester 1 hyphen maths. Okay. Same with project reports. You kind of get the idea. Now, when you're updating a document multiple times, it is always a nice idea to also version it. Versioning means the first time I created it, I call it version 1.0. The second time I update it, I create version 2.0. But I do not want to lose version 1.0 because maybe I sent version 1.0 to somebody, right? So I need to know what I sent to that somebody. So these are all nice ways to do. You will learn over time, and if you ever want to know these things, these are called best practices, or how to name documents, how to do it well. Now we come to word processing applications are used to write text documents, right? But there are two kinds of text documents. The one on the top is what we call unformatted text. Unformatted text is what you create inside an email. Unformatted text is what you created inside WhatsApp. Unformatted text is what you create when you use a Notes app, or actually, if you're on Microsoft Windows, there are other kind of note apps called OneNote and all of that. In most places, when you create an unformatted text document, it will have a file extension .txt or .text. Okay, and they are almost always created. It is in email, it will be unformatted text. There will be limited formatting. I will talk about formatting later. There will be limited formatting there, but it is from a full overall point of view, it is still unformatted. Now, formatted text is what you create with Google Docs, with WPS on Android, with Microsoft Word, with OpenOffice, with LibreOffice, and today the entire lecture is on formatted text documents. Word processing is essentially the creation, editing, modification of formatted text documents. Okay, so word processing applications let you create a formatted text document. It lets you view a formatted text document. It lets you update or review or comment. There are multiple things possible in a formatted text document. We'll get to review and comment later. Okay, please go on mute. Now, below is an example of basically a formatted text document. Just observe how the title "Free Online Word Processors" is in bigger letters. The color is different, and it is organized different. And then the body of the text in black is kind of smaller font. You're changing all of this to improve your presentation. So that is all called formatting. So what is the difference between unformatted and formatted text? So this kind of tells you what does an unformatted text document application do? What does a formatted text document application do? The one on the right is a word processing application. What is common to both? You can create new text documents, you can view existing text documents, and you can update. In the unformatted text document application, you only get limited formatting, limited. So you can change the size of the letters. You can make the letters look different, like bold, italics. I will show you what that is immediately very soon. On the formatted text document side, I will show you today the amount of formatting you can do is so much that you can keep actually making a document look better and better, more and more sophisticated. Sophisticated is a nice word for complex. Okay, complex means not simple. So I'm not going to go into a lot of details like how to do review, how to do versioning, because those are all very advanced concepts in word processing. But if you ever want to know how to do versioning inside the document, how to do reviews, how to insert comments, we can always talk about it after our lecture series. Now you have to know how do word processing applications look on your computer, right? On your mobile phone, it will appear as a mobile app. WPS is an example. I'm sure OpenOffice also has apps that is available in the Google Play Store. And Microsoft may also have app versions of Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office. Now, on a desktop computer, the most popular ones are Microsoft Office. In Microsoft Office, which is a group of applications, they are called a suite of applications. Suite is not the sweet you eat at home. It is SUITE. Suite means it is something like a bunch of things that come together. You can call it a bundle also. Microsoft Office has Microsoft Word, which is used for word processing. Microsoft Excel is used for spreadsheets, which we'll do in the next lecture. And then PowerPoint is used for actual presentations. The presentation you see today, that is called a presentation, it was not created with PowerPoint, but with PowerPoint, you can create the same kind of presentation. Now, Google Docs gives you the same things. It gives you the doc part of it is like Microsoft Word. The sheet part of it is like spreadsheet, Microsoft Excel, and the presentation part of it is like Microsoft PowerPoint, right? But Google Docs is not a computer application. It does not run on your computer. It requires a web browser on your computer, or it requires a mobile app client. In the last lecture, we saw what is a web application. So a Google Doc is a web application. It runs through the internet. If you do not have internet access, you cannot use Google Docs as far as I know, okay? So this is the way you access word processing applications on your mobile phone, on your computer, desktop computer, and on the web. for the Google Docs is the cheapest one. It is free. Cheap meaning it is free. You can access it from your mobile phone. You can access it from your computer. So for all of you who are students who are not going to offices, I recommend that you use Google Docs. But if you are ever in a situation where you have access to a desktop computer or a laptop, or maybe you're working for a company, and in a company, people will tend to use either Microsoft Word or OpenOffice or LibreOffice, okay? And Microsoft the company also has a web application for Microsoft Office. Their web application is called Office 365, and that is not free. You have to pay. You have to pay a subscription fee. Now, any document, right? When you're creating a document, when you're viewing a document, when you're editing a document, you go through a bunch of steps, right? So we saw how you start an application. You double click on an existing document, or you launch the application, right? These are the two steps on the left. If you double click an existing document, the application, word processing application, gets launched, right? And then once the application is launched, you can either create a new document, or you can read an existing document, or you can open an existing document and you can add new content. By content, I mean, in this case, I mean text, right? Text or images or charts or anything else. Or if the content is already there, you can modify it, you can edit it, you can update it. Now, you may read it once, you may have to update it once, right? Today, but you can come back tomorrow and you can read it again, and maybe you are not happy with it, you want to update it, you want to do a better job, or you want to add a new section, you want to add a new chapter. Then you see the cycle here, the blue arrows, it goes back. It says multiple edit read cycles. So it goes back. So you can actually read and update again and again over the same day or over multiple days. Only when you are completely happy with the result, then you save the document. When you save the document, the file gets created in your folder, in the file system. And then when you are done, you close the application. So this is the typical editing cycle for a word processing application, or even a spreadsheet application, or even a presentation application. And for that matter, almost any application where you create a document, okay? It could be Adobe Photoshop, where you're actually creating pictures. Somebody with a kid, stop playing with my screen. Hello? You're not helping, please. Okay. Oh, we have a problem here. My font is not showing. What happened here? Okay. On this slide, I had basically what a font means. Somehow my font, the text fonts have disappeared, and I don't know how. But I'm going to explain it to you. Font is nothing but when you have a letter. Letter is not like the letter you write to somebody, right? This is like the character A, B, C, D. The character A, B, C, D, they're called the letters of the English alphabet, right? The letters of the English alphabet are from A, B, C, D through Z. In US, we say Z, Z for Z. So the way these characters, the way these letters, A, B, C, D, show up on your word processing application. So the letter, the character, the text that you put in, it will have a particular shape. It will have a particular color. It will have a particular form. That is called the font. Okay. There are very standard fonts in word processing applications, and the fonts can look different. So the same word, right? If I type if I type the name Dharani in text document, the letters B, H, A, R, A, N, I can make them look very different. And how different they look, that is because of the kind of font I use. So that is what a font means. Okay. Well, let me actually. So now something that is allowed inside a text document, it is called a bullet list. Okay. A bullet list is a list of things that are one after the other, one by one. For example, you see the create new document, view existing document, update existing document. It is one after the other. That is called a bulleted list. In this case, the bullets have letters, the letters ABC. That is a lettered bullet list. Now that is inside of another list called common and differences, right? And that is a numbered bullet list. So only if you want to write very scientific research documents, or you want to write a very big research paper, or some kind of analytical document, or even in literature, right? You're writing some project report for your school, for your college, for your company, then you may find the need to have this kind of bullet structure, because you want to emphasize. Emphasize means you want to make it absolutely clear that this is my list, right? So then you use something called a bullet list. Now, you all know what a paragraph is. A paragraph is like 4 or 5 sentences that have a common theme, common thought, common idea. They are separated by line. Please go on mute, everybody. Please go on mute, everybody. A paragraph is like this. So word processing documents recognize paragraphs. Okay, they understand what a paragraph means. Just like you understand what a paragraph means, they don't understand the thought in it. They don't understand the semantics of the theme, the idea in it, in the words, but they understand where it begins, where it ends. They understand whether it is left justified. Left justified means they're all aligned on the left, right? Alignment means they all are very symmetric. But you can see an example there. Left justified paragraph on top, then the one in the middle is right justified, meaning it is justified on the right. So just by looking at it, you can understand what justification means. It just means it is aligned on the left or aligned on the right, or you could be aligned on both, left and right. That can be done in the word processing document. You don't have to do it by hand. The application will do it for you. So these are some things you have to understand a little bit, because if you're sending, let's say, a document to a company, let's say it is a letter, right? If you're writing a letter, I recommend that you write a letter, and if you have multiple paragraphs, you do both left and right justification for the paragraph. Then it is going to look neat. Now, what is indentation? Indentation, you can see the example. The paragraph on the top is not moved to the right. The paragraph in the bottom is moved to the right, and that moving to the right is called indenting. Okay, and that indenting you can do only for the first line of a paragraph, or you can do for the whole paragraph. So these are things you don't have to worry too much, but if you see it, you should recognize that it is indented. Then in word processing documents, you can have a page structure. Again, just know that it exists. You don't have to worry about how to do it, because you get templates, you won't get example documents. You don't have to try to worry about the top margin, bottom margin, left margin, right margin, but you should know that it exists. One of the things to know is there is a reason these margins are there. Why do we need these margins? Part of it is to read better. The other part is when you print, when you print on a printer, if you do not have these kind of margins where there is no text, then on the printer, some of the text on the edges will actually disappear, will not show up in your printout. Okay? So it is very important to know why we have margins. Margins meaning there is no text at the bottom, no text at the left end, no text at the right end, no text at the top end. Now, in some documents, you will have something called a header. Header, that small section on top, and footer is a small section at the bottom. We always use head for the top and foot for the bottom. So it's called a header on top, and this is called a footer on top. Again, you don't have to worry about it more often. But if you ever see it in a very good document, in the header there will be either something which could be the title of a textbook, title of a book. In the footer, you could have page numbers, right? Word processing documents can automatically generate page numbers for you. And if your document has a title, it has a, let's say it is a textbook, an entire textbook can be a document, right? And the title of the textbook, you can have it in the header on every page. So those are things that are possible. So this is just to know what are the possibilities. You don't have to worry too much about it. Again, always remember, you can always start with a template. Word processing documents allow significant document structure. We explained what structure means in Tamil earlier. So it just means that you can have different kinds of pages. You can have structure where you can have a title page, you can have a last page, right? And you can have, if it is a textbook, you can have a table of contents. You can have an index at the end of the textbook which lists out all important words and on where those words are found, on which page number. You can have a first chapter, you can have a last chapter. This whole thing is called document structure. So word processing applications are so sophisticated today that you can write a very big fat textbook, entire textbook in it. The textbook can have 1,000 pages, 2,000 pages. All of it can be in one Word document, okay? And if any of you want to write a textbook someday, all of this is possible. Now we get to document templates. So I have used the word template so many times, all the way. Sometimes I say example document, sometimes I say template. Think of templates as example documents, but the word processing application kind of treats it a little differently. You don't have to worry about it unless you want to save a document as a template, right? So you don't have to worry too much, but here I have shown you examples. On the left is a letter template. So which means it is an example letter that is already written. And since it is a template, you can use it as an example document. You can get it into your word processing application. You can modify it. You can make it like your letter to some company, to some manager somewhere. It could be for business, it could be for jobs. You can always use example documents, templates to start off your letter. And the second template is a resume. It's a resume template. If you ever want to write a resume, if you want to do it from the beginning without any template help, it's a lot of work. Somebody has already done the work, so you have to benefit from their work. So what you do is just copy it, and then instead of Robert Alberto, you change your name to Dharani, or you may change your name to Shilpa V, right? And then you put your address, you put your phone number, you put your qualification, your education, all of that. And once you have changed everything, you're done. Your resume is ready. Other kinds of templates, if you are ever doing project proposals for big companies, offices, there are project proposal templates on the web. Then there are, I cannot see the right one. It's a pamphlet, single page pamphlet flyer template. Look how cute it is, right? You can make all of these colorful things inside word processing applications. Now we have gone through what is a font, we have gone through what is a paragraph, we have gone through what is indenting, what is justification, what is page structure, what is document structure, right? What is formatting? Formatting is nothing but for fonts, you can change the font size, the font type, how it looks, what color you use. Is it bold? It is italics? Is it underlined? Are you striking through the font? Some of these things are possible in WhatsApp. In WhatsApp, you can change a font to bold. You can change a font to italics. You can underline a particular word. You can strike through a word if you made a mistake, right? All that is font formatting. Paragraph formatting, you can do left indentation, left justification, right justification, or both left and right justification. Then there's a list and bullet formatting that is possible. For list and bullet formatting, you can have numbered bullets, you can have lettered bullets, you can have dot and squared bullets. So in this particular slide, you can see lettered and numbered bullets. Page formatting, there's a lot of things we've talked about. Document formatting also, I did talk about it. But in general, do not worry about why this is so difficult, so complex, or so not easy. There are always templates. You can use a template to get started. Now, in a word processing document, can you insert something that is not text? Yes, you can. Everybody go on mute, please. Hello, everybody go on mute. We have a little bit of a problem. Let's okay, I'm not able to get rid of that music, or everyone needs to go on mute. So we have just, I think, one more slide. We'll get into the quiz section. You can insert an image from a file. The example image I've shown you, which is the HUM logo. If I want to insert the HUM logo in a document, yes, that is possible. You can insert a table or copy a table from a spreadsheet. I've shown you an example table on the right. A table is nothing but basically it has rows, it has columns. Okay? Whatever goes left to right is called a row. Whatever goes top to bottom is called a column. So we'll talk about. Excuse me, please go on mute, everybody. Gautam, you needed to go on mute, please. I muted you right now, but next time it's better if you mute yourself. All right, we are back to the same problem. All right. Okay, chart. You can insert a chart or copy a chart from a spreadsheet. We'll talk about it in the next lecture on spreadsheets, what a chart is, but you can see there, right? That cute little circle with a red section, a blue, green, and yellow section, that is called a pie chart. You get to create pie charts in spreadsheets. You can insert those in a Word document if you like. You can insert a mathematical formula like what you have seen, what you see down there, okay? Word processing applications let you do all of that. So it is a very, very sophisticated tool. it will let you write a textbook. It will let you write a letter. It will let you format a resume. It will let you write a project report. You can actually create a calendar, your own private calendar, if you want, using a word processing application. And you can create, you can actually print it. On the calendar, you can have images, you can have your own photographs, right? So the word processing is very, very powerful. It lets you do so many things that you should understand how to use it, because this is the way to spread knowledge. This is the way to communicate what you know. It is also a way to communicate your qualification for a resume. It is a way to communicate, let's say you have an idea for a textbook, you have an idea for a book. You use a word processing application to first write the book, right? So it is a very powerful tool. Today, we don't do traditional formatting of books. We always use word processing applications on computers. Okay. So having said that, it's quiz time. And Vinod, you are up for quiz time. You are leading the quiz time session today. As usual, we have 5 or 6 questions. Vinod, you ready? Hello, Vinod. Okay, can somebody text Vinod and get him to unmute himself?
Yes, sir.
Vinod, you're ready?
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
Okay, so quiz time. Please start with question 1. Thank you for doing it today.
What are explained of word processing application?
What are examples? Please repeat examples.
சொல் செயலாக்க பயன்பாட்டுகளின் எடுத்துக்காட்டுகள் யாவை?
Okay, please repeat the English question. What are examples?
What are example of word processing application? சொல் செயலாக்க பயன்பாட்டுகளின் எடுத்துக்காட்டுகள் யாவை?
MS Word.
Very good. Anything else?
Open Office, LibreOffice.
Very good. Anything else? What is it that is free? And an internet application, a web application.
Google Document.
Yes, Google Docs is the web application. OpenOffice is also free. Yeah, OpenOffice is also free, but it is not a web application. It runs on your computer. Google Docs runs only on the internet. Very good. So now you have Microsoft Word, Google Docs, OpenOffice, LibreOffice, Office 365. Vinod, next question.
Yes, sir. What kind of document can you write with word processing application? Word processing application உடன் நீங்கள் என்ன வகையான ஆவணங்களை எழுதலாம்?
Unformatted text document application, formatted text document application.
Okay, yes, the answer is you can write unformatted text in Word or Google Docs, but you can also do unformatted text using very simple text applications, right? The biggest advantage of word processing applications is formatted text documents. Formatted, structured text documents. That is the biggest advantage. So when we ask what kind of documents can you write with word processing applications, it is almost always formatted text documents, because 99.99% of documents people write with Word will have very good formatting. Okay. So very good. Thank you. Next question, Vinod.
What is formatting? வடிவமைத்தல் என்றால் என்ன?
In font formatting, we change the font size, type, color, bold,
Right.
thick.
What else can we format in a word processing document?
Paragraph formatting, list bullet formatting,
Correct.
page formatting.
So, correct. You can do page formatting, document formatting, paragraph formatting, then list formatting, bullet list formatting, right? All of that is formatting. Thank you. Thank you. Next question, Vinod.
What is a template? ஒரு டெம்ப்ளேட் என்றால் என்ன?
Lecture resume, project proportional pamphlet.
Those are types of templates, right? What is a template?
Document of a format, structure, design.
It is an example document, right? It is an example. Example means somebody has created it already for you, and you use it as an example. Okay, so a template is an example document that is already formatted and is available. Now there are different types of documents. So the letter is a type of document. So you can have a letter template, an example letter. You can have a resume, which is a type of document. So you can have a resume template, which is again an example template for resume. So project proposal, which Shilpa talked about, is a type of document. So you can have a project proposal template. So we will see what templates are in the practical demonstration section. So I hope you all understand template is an example document. If you ever want to write a brand new document, start off with a template, right? So a question 5, Vinod.
What is the simplest way to write a document link, resume, letter or project report? ஒரு ஆவணத்தை எழுத எளிய வழி என்ன?
Template.
Correct. So the simplest way to start write a new document, any kind of these documents, is use a template for that type of document. Okay. Last question.
What all can you insert into a document? எல்லாவற்றையும் நீங்கள் ஒரு ஆவணத்தில் செருகலாம்.
Folder.
Inside a document, inserting inside the documents. What can you add into a document?
Insert a table, spreadsheet.
Correct.
Copy, chart.
Correct. There are a lot of
mathematical
things.
Formula.
Very good, very good. So you can insert tables, and you'll find why tables are important in the next lecture. You can insert the charts. Charts are all useful for presentation. Here's something I will tell you. Supposing some of you who are actually going to college, or maybe you're 12th standard students, right? Let's say you apply for internship internship to Azim Premji University for some research project. Okay. And on the research project, there is a project report that needs to be written. And part of the research data, the information, you are writing in the form of tables. You are presenting in the form of charts. Then you have to know how to create tables, how to insert tables, how to create charts, and how to insert charts. Okay. So, and today internships like that are available. Okay. And interestingly, some of those internships are paid internships, meaning they pay money. Okay. So knowing how to write a good word processing document is important, because you don't know where you will use it. It may be used anywhere. All right. So Vinod, thank you for leading the session. Vinod, tell me, how was it for you leading this session? Did you enjoy it?
Yes, sir. I'm enjoyed.
Now tell everybody in Tamil why leading the session is very good.
புரியலையே சார்.
Okay, புரியல. Okay. So, Monica, ask Vinod to say why leading a session is a good idea in Tamil.
Okay, sir. Vinod, நீ இன்னைக்கு நடத்தினல்ல இந்த செஷனை, குவிஸ் செஷனை வந்து நடத்துறதுக்கு எது ஒரு நல்ல விஷயமா இருக்கும் அப்படின்றது நீ மத்தவங்களுக்கும் சொல்வியா?
ஓகே. மத்தவங்களுக்கு
இல்ல எதனால இது ஒரு நல்லது அப்படின்றத நீ சொல்வியா?
புரிஞ்சுக்கலாம். இத பத்தி நம்ம புரிஞ்சுக்கலாம். அதே மாதிரி நம்மளுக்கு இது மாதிரி யாருக்காவது லெட்டர் அனுப்பலாம், இது மாதிரி எல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம். இதுதான் என்னோட நான் சொல்றது. அவ்வளவுதான்.
Okay. One advantage is if you lead the session, you will remember the questions more. You will remember the answers more. It is when you are leading a lecture, you will know more. You will learn more. There's a difference between listening to a lecture and actually leading the lecture, right? The person leading the lecture will always understand more, will know more, because they have to remember, and it gets somehow it is captured in your brain. So any of you, if you ever lead a quiz time session, you will remember that particular lecture session a lot more. So now the question is, who wants to lead the session, quiz time session next lecture?
Sir?
Yes, who was that?
Dharni, sir.
Dharni, very good, Dharni. So Dharni, you are offering to lead it next time?
Okay, sir.
Okay, fantastic. So Dharni is the leader for the quiz time session in the next lecture on spreadsheets. And spreadsheets are a beautiful, it's an amazing application. I love word processing applications, but I love spreadsheet applications even more. Okay, so we'll talk about it next time, and I will tell you why. Now we'll get into the practical demonstration section. So for the practical demonstration section, I will actually jump straight into Google Docs, because all of you need to know how to use Google Docs. It is free. It is always available. There is no cost to it. And you can do it even from your mobile phone or a tablet or any computer. So let's start with sharing my screen here. Okay, and then we go straight to Google Docs. So I have opened my web browser. This is the Chrome web browser on my desktop computer. And I have gone to docs.google.com. How do you go to, how do you use Google Docs? You use Google Docs by going to docs.google.com. docs.google.com. So once you go to docs.google.com, you can log in using your Gmail email address and password. Okay, I have already logged in using my Gmail email address and password, so you don't see the login screen. And when you go to docs.google.com, if you go to the top left menu here, if you click on the menu, you see options. There is the Docs option. Docs option takes you to word processing. The Sheets option takes you to spreadsheets. And so we are going to stay in the Docs section today, which is what you see right here. Okay. Now it is giving you an option to start a new document, right? You can, when you start a new document, you can start with a blank document. Blank document means it has nothing, right? You have to enter everything. Now we talked about templates. Google Docs also gives you templates. So you see the templates here. There's a resume template. There are two resume templates, two different kinds of resume templates. One letter template, one project proposal template, one information brochure template, and a project report or business report template, right? So what we are going to do is go to the resume template, and my new document will start using the resume template. And I click on it. Okay, it is coming up, but very slowly. Okay, let's wait until it shows up here. Okay, so this is a resume template, an example resume. Okay, now all of the structure has already been done, so you don't have to worry too much. So what you have to do is you want to change your name. In this case, my name is Sudhir. I change it to Sudhir, and let's say my initial is R. And my address. Okay, let's say I stay. Let's say my address is 123 4th Main Road. Right? 123 4th Main Road. And my city is let's say, I say Ambattur. Now you get the idea. You can use this example resume to change your name, to change your address. Now experience. Let's say I had experience in a job called Ambattur Cements, right? I'm going to change this, the very first experience item. And what was my job title? Let's say I was project manager. Now, since you are a student, you do not have much experience, right? Since you do not have much experience, you can delete the whole experience section because you do not have experience. But if you do have some small experience, let's say you worked for, you volunteered, did a small little bit of work for Ramakrishna Mission, or you did a little bit of work for your school, right? Then you can call it, instead of experience, you can call it volunteering experience, right? And since the experience is in capital letters, we will make all of volunteering in capital letters. Okay. Now let's say you work for Ramakrishna Mission. So I will say Ramakrishna Mission. I can change the location. The location can be Ambattur. And what was my role? I was just a volunteer. Right? Now, school. Dharani, what school do you go to? Okay, Dharani is, we don't know Dharani school's name. We will just call it government school 1. Okay. And then what was my degree? Let's say my degree was BCom. I put BCom there. Okay. So you can see now I have used a template document to create my own resume. And now let's say I have finished it. I go to the file menu and I'll just, Google Docs actually automatically saves it for you. So the only thing you have to do is give it a file name. We have to, how do you give file name in Google Docs? Or rename. There is rename here. Okay, so rename, on the top left, it gives you a way to rename your thing. And my thing is called Sudhir Resume. Okay, Sudhir Resume for Ambattur Cements. It was created in December 2020. Okay, now if I with Google Docs, you don't have to worry about saving. It automatically saves it for you. Just create a proper file name. And now I can go back in my web browser. If I go back in my web browser, do you see at the bottom here? I've created my new resume. It says Sudhir Resume Ambattur Cements. That is the new document Google Docs created for me because I used Google Docs to create a brand new resume. Now Google Docs let's quickly take a look at project proposal. I'm going to click on project proposal. A project proposal is a template. So if I ever want to create a project proposal, I will start with a template. It's coming up. Okay, it's almost there. Okay, now it has come up, and now let's say I want to change the project name. Okay, my project name is, let's call it Narmada project. Narmada Dam project. Okay, so I'm showing you an example of how to create a project proposal from a template. Now there's a date here. A lot of project proposals require dates. You can change the date. Then there is an author name at the bottom. you can change the author name in today's lecture. I am the author, so I'm going to change it to Sudhir R. Okay, and then I will enter a lot of project details, and then I will just change the name of the project, Narmada Dam Project, and Sudhir is the author and was created in December 2020. So in Google Docs, it is already saved. All I have to do is go back to my docs.google.com dashboard, and it will show me the document. Okay, so both of you see now, my project proposal document was the most recent document, and it is showing leftmost. Okay, and these are two documents I created using Google Docs, using templates in Google. Remember, in Google, it automatically saves the moment you enter data. In all other applications, you have to actually save the document yourself, and you always have to give a good file name. Now we will finish. We are done with Google. We are going to go to LibreOffice in in the desktop, on the desktop computer here. So I'm going to go to a folder. Remember, anytime I download something from the web, it goes into the downloads folder. And I'm going to go to the downloads folder, click on the downloads folder. And in the downloads folder, I've already downloaded templates for reports, templates for a resume. Okay. So now I'm going to quickly double click on the resume template. That will launch the LibreOffice application for me. What am I doing? I'm actually using a template that I found on the web. I downloaded it, and I'm double clicking on the template because that's what I want to use. So this is a resume template, a different kind of resume template. It's different from the one on Google Docs. So here, for example, this template has a photo. I click on the photo, and now I want to put my photo in there. So I'm going to now show you how to insert an image. So I go to the top menu. In the top menu, there is an insert menu, pull-down menu. In the insert pull-down menu, there is an insert image. I go to insert image, and I click on image. When I click on image, it lets me pick a file, right? And my file is my photograph, and that photograph is in my pictures folder. I have already saved my photograph in my pictures folder, and I have called it passport.png. So I'm going to open that, which means it will get inserted. So now you see I've inserted my picture. Of course, this is somebody else's picture, but this is an example. If this were my picture will come into that box. Now I want to make the box look nice and neat. So I'm going to reshape the box a little bit and reshape the picture a little bit so it is more accurate. Okay, so picture is done. I can modify my now I need to change the name. Again, my name is Sudhir here, so I'm going to say Sudhir R. I'm going to change the address. I'm not an engineering student of computer science. I'm actually a student of microbiology. So I'm going to say BSc student. and I'm actually doing microbiology. Okay. Now, again, you can go further down. You can modify education. You can modify professional experiences. And anybody here, if you're applying for jobs, I'm very happy to help you with your resume. Okay, you can text me and I can help you with it. Not a big problem. And whatever we learn from this, we will share with everybody. Okay. So now I need to, unlike Google Docs, I need to save this. Let's say my resume is done. I need to save it. Now I'm going to save it in the documents folder and I will give it a name. Sudhir resume. And this actually went to the Department of Human Resources, Tamil Nadu government. Okay. And I made it in December 2020. So then I save it. So now my document is saved. We go to the documents folder and see if the document has been properly saved. And in the documents folder, you see the document Sudhir resume, Department of Human Resources, Tamil Nadu government, December 2020. Now look at the extension for the file. The extension is not .doc. It is not .docx. It is .odt. ODT is the Open Office document format that LibreOffice uses. And so .odt documents are actually created by LibreOffice and OpenOffice, and .odt will not open in Microsoft Word. And I don't know if it will open in Google Docs. So that is why let's go back to this document. And if we want to share it, we have to export it as PDF or .doc. So what we are going to do is we are back in the resume document and we are going to say, I want to export it. Export it as PDF. Okay. Export it as PDF. Then it will have some sections here. Don't worry about all these other things. Just say export. Then it will ask you where to export, and you are in the correct folder. You are in the documents folder, and it will save it as .pdf. Okay. And we save it. Now let's go back to the documents folder and let's see if our document is there. So now you see there are two documents in the document folder. The first one is the .odt version created with LibreOffice. But if I want to share it with somebody, I have to export it as PDF or export it as .doc Word format document. I prefer PDF. Okay. So always export it as PDF, and this PDF resume, now you can share over email, you can share using WhatsApp. So this kind of concludes the word processing application lecture. What we learned today is how to use templates to create Word documents like resume, like project proposal. We learned how to do it using Google Docs, and we learned how to use it using doing LibreOffice. And Microsoft Word is not going to be very different from LibreOffice. It is going to have the same kind of menu, right? You can go into the word processing application and explore, see how to actually make the font bold, how to make it italics, how to change the size of the font from 12 points to 10 points, from 12 points to 14 points. Explore. But whenever you want to do a resume, it is going to somebody, be very, very careful. Always use a template and just follow the template format and save it as a PDF and send it off to somebody. And we also saw how to insert an image inside a document. You can also insert an image in Google Docs. You can always easily copy paste charts from spreadsheet to documents. It is not too difficult. If you ever want to do it, come talk to me and I'll show you how. Okay, so this concludes this lecture.